right? So in first session, we have created, this is the existing project which I'll be using. Okay. Now, so we have created this class. Now this class RenDB context, this class is going to be connected to our database. Means this class is nothing but representation of our database. Okay. Then we have created one more class. Inside this class, we have created several classes. Just like in Angular also, we create a model dot Angular or React, we create a file, and in that we can create multiple interface and the classes, just like that. So I have created a class in that, let's say, talk about rent car. So this is just a class which is just the representation of my table. So in the car table, we have this much of fields, columns, just like that. We have created this much of properties over here. Car ID was primary key, so that's why we have added key over here. And again, it was identity. So we have specified like database generated and approach will be identity. And above this class, we have added the name of the table, that is rental car. This is our table name. So let me just show you the database also. Just like that, we have created rent customer class also. Again, we have connected that to the rental customer class, then rent booking, and we have connected this. So whatever the columns we have in that table, that we have created over here. Then in the controller folder, we have created our controller with the name car rental app. So this is that controller. In this controller, we have created object of our database class, that is DB context class over here. And we have created our basic API. First API for the get all car, then second API to create new car, third API to update the existing car, and fourth API to delete car by car ID, which is responsible to delete the car, whatever the card ID we pass, right? So yesterday, this code we have written, but this is very basic code. We haven't added a try catch block, exception handling. We have not done anything. Okay. So first, we will keep this as it is. Now we will complete the second table. So that will be customer. Okay. So now we have to write the API for customer table. So just like over here, in this controller only, I will create all the API. Ideally, for every table, we normally create one controller, but this is the single project which I'm using for all the project ideas which I posted on the YouTube. So that's why if I start creating controller for every table, so many controllers will be over here. So that's why for every project, I create one controller and all the APIs for that project will be inside this single controller only. Okay. Now we have to start writing API for customer. Again, so whenever we say API, so obviously CRUD API, right? We are when it comes to a bigger project now, more than CRUD API, so many business logic will be there. But just for understanding, we are creating basic API. So CRUD API, insert, update, delete, and getting the list. So first API we will be writing to get all the customer, right? So now here, so public, then our what type of data we are going to return? So we are going to return the list of customer model. So rent customer. This is nothing but this model what we have created. Then our method name, get all customers, curly bracket. So this is nothing but same as it is whatever how we create the function in JavaScript on React or in Angular. How do we create the function? Just like the structure is there, like just basic syntax is there, right? This won't be present in your JavaScript. Public won't be there. Just function will be there. Correct? Just like some things will be changed, but the basic concept will be same. Okay. Now this is the API. So we need to, when we talk about API, we have get, post, put, delete. So what kind of this API is going to be? So obviously we are going to get the record. So it should be a get API. So above this method, we have to specify like what kind of this API is going to be. So it's going to be HTTP get method. Okay. So get method again. So this get all customer, this is our method name. But when we publish our API onto any server, we don't want to disclose our method name, right? So we can give another name which will be displayed on the API. So we can do that by using route. Now this route, whether if you talk about React or in Angular, in both the places we are familiar with the route. So this is nothing but that. We are giving a name to this particular method. In Angular or in React, we gave the route, we create a route for that component. Here consider a method name. Okay. Now it should be in the string format. See here it is suggesting string. So let's say get customers. So see, our actual method name is get all customer, but we will be accessing this API by this name. If we don't provide this, this method name will be visible. But if we add route, then this will be visible. It will be hidden. Okay. Now in this API, what we need to do, we need to get the list of all customer from our table. So let's go to database and let's check how many records we have in customer table. So that's same we can verify. So right click, I'm just opening a new query window. Now to get the record from the table, we have to write the query select star and then from and our table name select star from rent customer. Let's get the table name from our model. So this is rental customer. This is our column table name. Now if we execute, currently we don't have any record. So let's insert that first. We should have some records. Where it is rental customer. Right click, modify. We can insert the data by query also, but it will take time. We have to write. So directly I'm doing it from over here. So many tables are there. So sometimes it takes time to open the editor. Yeah. Okay. So customer ID was our foreign primary key and which is identity also. So we don't have to pass the customer ID. Let's say name Chetan. Then this is city. So let's say Pune. Mobile number, just a dummy mobile number I'm adding. An email. One customer we have added. Then let's add second customer with the name Rahul. Let's say city will be Mumbai. Mobile number rahul@gmail.com. So we have inserted two record from the database. Okay. Now if we execute this query, we will get two customers. See, select star from rental customer. So whatever the data we have in this table, we will get it. Now let's go back to the controller. Now here we need to read the data from that table. So how do we do that? So we have already created the class which is connected to our database, and we have created column our tables also, means classes which are connected to our table, and these classes are registered in our database class by using dbset. Okay. Now let's say we will create a variable. So just like in JavaScript we create the variable by using var, just like that in database in .NET also we can create the variable by declaring it with var. Then our variable name. So let's say list is equal to. Now at the top in the constructor, we this is a constructor. So those who know Angular, they might know like what is constructor. So just like over there, we can create constructor over here also, but there we write constructor, but here we have to create a method which is identical to our class name. So see, this will be our constructor. So in constructor, we have created an object of our DB context class. See, we have created object of our DB context class. So here we have to write underscore context dot. Now what table of what table we need the data? Customers, right? So rent customer. So this is rent customers. It is coming from over here, this DB set. See, rent customers. Let's say if I write over here customer now, let's say now here, see, customer is coming. So whatever the object name you provide over here, that will come over here because we are just accessing the object of this class. So what are the properties we have in this class? We can access that. So just like that. So customer dot. Now what we need? List of the customer means whatever the data is present in that table, I need that. So simply to list. That's it. So whatever we have written in the database, that is select star from rental customer, this is equivalent to this. So whatever the data we have in the table, now we will get it in this variable. Now what we need to do, this method is supposed to return the data type list of this model. We have got that in this variable. We just have to use the return keyword and we just need to return the list. That's it. This is our get API. So if you have used any GET API till now, whether it is Angular or React, you might have hit the API and in response, you get the array of that particular object, whether it is employee, customer, product, you get the list of array of object. So this is the logic behind that API. Let's add a debugger and let's run the project. Now, whatever the output we get by this query, we should get the same output by hitting that API also. Let it run. So in this project, I have implemented Swagger. So Swagger is just what do I say, documentation, API documentation. It will create a page where all the API, where all what are the APIs, what you can test also, right? You can see the what APIs are there, what data it is going to return, what input it needs, right? So many things are there. So this is our controller. Inside that controller, yesterday we have created this much of API. Now we have to test get customer API. So now if we execute, try it out and execute. See API call is in progress and see we have got the debugger over here. Now F10, I'm executing step by step. So if everything is fine in that variable, we should get the data. Yes. So if I hover on that list, you can see count 2 we have got. See second record. So in .NET, we get to see array like this. In JavaScript or in React also, in Angular also, we get if we add the debugger and we can see like that. So just like that over here also we can see. Now whatever the data we have in this variable, we are simply returning it. So if we click on continue, you can see we have got the data. So this is simply get API. If we copy this URL and post it over here, same API is going to hit, and in response we are going to get the data. Got it? So this is our GET API, right? Now GET API is done. Next is when we talk about CRUD operation, read is done. Next is create, right? So create means what if we have to create new record? Sorry, am I audible to everyone? Can you confirm please? I'm audible properly? Just message if you are able to. Okay. Can you check your speaker? Everyone is able to hear. Okay. So this is about GET API. Next is we have to create new customer. Okay. So let's just stop it. Every time we have to change now, we have to stop the project. Now, next API we have to write to create new customer. Now you already know whether you have worked in Angular or React. For creating new record, we normally have post API. So we have to write HTTP post. Okay. Then route name we will give. Let's say create new customer. Then our method name. So public. Now return type. So everyone knows like whenever we are dealing with create means post API and the put API, we get the model. Whatever the model we send, whatever the object we send, we normally get that object in return also. Correct? So this this get API was returning array of rent customer. But now here we will return only single object. So only rent customer like that. Then our method name add new cust. Now, when we hit post API, along with the URL, we send the object also, right? So if someone is hitting this API and sending the object, I need to cache that object also. So what type of object I'm going to get? This class object only. So here we have to add a parameter like this. So just like in function in React or Angular, how you create the function with parameter, just like that. Here also we have created a function which is going to accept object of this type. If you are going to see above function, delete one. For this function, we are going to send the integer ID. So here int is there. But this function is going to accept object as a parameter, object of type rent customer, whatever the properties we have in this class that we might receive from the Angular or React side. So we need to catch that over here. What it is saying. Okay, return statement. Now we have to create new customer. So let me just show you in the database, how do we create a customer? So if we have to insert new data into this table, so in SQL, we can write the query like insert into our table name. Let me just copy paste. Then values, and we have to provide the values. So I said like customer ID is our primary key and identity. So while inserting the data, we don't have to send the customer ID, we send it 0. Okay. Now, second thing, column, customer name. So let's say customer name Ramesh, comma. Second is single quote because the data type is string. Solapur. Then mobile number. For mobile number, again, we have kept varchar only, means string data only. Let's add 9999. Then we have email ID. Ramesh123@gmail.com. Okay. Now, if we run this SQL query, what it is saying, values, sorry. We need to see once I type yes, na, the error got away. Okay. So it needs values. Execute. So it is saying one row affected. Now let's execute this query. So see, one record got added and customer ID is also it has got by default, right? So this is how we insert the data into table by using SQL query. Now same thing we have to do from API in .NET, right? So let's write that. So over here we have to write underscore context means our database dot. In which table we are going to insert the data? Customer. So customer dot add. And what to add we need to pass the object. So this object we have to pass it over here. This won't add the record into the table. After that, we need to see here over here also. Just writing this query is not going to do anything. Once we execute it, then only it is going to insert the data. Just like that, over here also, context means our database dot save changes. This is how you need to write. Just a minute. Okay. So what type of data we have said like we will going to return rent customer object. So this object we will return. Okay. Now let's add a debugger and let's test it properly. Let's run it. We have got error. What is the error? Expected somewhere. Okay. So see, when we work with .NET or Java or Python, I'm not sure about Python, but here semicolon plays very important role. In Java, sorry, in Angular React, if we don't provide semicolon everywhere, it won't throw error. But here semicolon plays very important role. Semicolon indicates the end of line. Okay. So let's run it. Okay. Now here. So this is the new API which we have created. Here you can see the API name is coming as create new customer, but our actual method name is add new customer. So whatever you provide over here, that will be visible to the API documentation. Okay. Let's try this API now. So if we execute, we get to know like which object this API needs. So this is the object we are going to pass. So let's click on try it out. So currently we just have 3 record. Okay. Let's add a record with name Sachin. Name will be, let's say, Sachin. Customer city, Mumbai. Mobile number 7777777777. So while creating database, I have specified the length. Let me just show you that. I'm opening the design mode. So while creating the column mobile number, I have specified the length, like maximum 10 character it will store. See here, varchar 10. Now if I pass more than 10 number, we should get an error. Okay. So let's try that. Sachin@gmail. Okay, let's execute. So if I run on this line, it code will break. See, we didn't write the try catch, so code will break on this line. And if we see the exception, view details, exception, we are going to get the error like string or binary data would be truncated, right? Because the length of the mobile number column is 10 digit, but we have sent more than that. So code SQL won't insert the data. That's why on this line, we have got the code got broke. We have got the exception, right? So let's continue. So here you get the error. Now let's modify the output correctly. We have correct now, 7 digit. Okay. Now let's try to execute again. Now if we try, the data will successfully execute. See, now we didn't get the error. And if you see the object now, see, customer ID also we have got. Now customer ID got 5, but currently if you see the records were 1, 2, 3. Now before that we tried to insert the data, so that 4 ID got wasted now. So next ID it will assign. Okay, so that's why we have got 5 ID over here. And this object only we are returning. So if we continue in the response, you will get that object. See, now if we again try this, get all customer, now we should get the latest customer added also. See, we have got Sachin also added. So this is how we write the post API. Again, in the actual application, so many business validations and rules will be there, right? But just this is a simple CRUD operation, so not very basic code is there, right? So this is for creating new records. Anyone have any question, they can ask quickly, then we can move forward with update and the delete. You can unmute. Everything is clear up till now? Okay, so let's move ahead. So now we have to create put API. Put API is for updating the record. So this is kind of an interview question. Normally you would, as a front-end developer, you won't normally get asked, but they will try to see if you know the answer or not. Like for creating new record, what kind of API we normally use? So for creating new record, it should be post API. For updating the existing record, it should be put API. So reason they won't ask you, but if you are a backend developer, they will ask you the reason why it is for creating a record, you have to create the post API, and for update, you have to go for the put. But at least as a front-end developer, we should know for creating new record, normally post API will be there. And for updating, it should be put API. Should be. It is not mandatory that for updating, only put API should be there. Even with get API also, we can update. So nothing is like standard that we have to use this, but as a standard, we have to follow something. So that's why put we normally use for update. So square bracket HTTP. Now we are going to create a put API. So this is HTTP put route name. So update customer. Now I will just copy paste because it will be same. Just the logic will change. So this will be instead of update cust. Okay, same object we are going to get, right? In some cases now, when we dealing with the update now, you have to pass two parameters, ID also and object also. It's totally based on the API developer, what type of API he is creating. If we go by standard now, your put API should have two parameter, ID, which record you want to update, and the things which you are going to update. But this idea, obviously, we are going to get in this object also. So rather than having two parameter, we can keep it one only, because in object only we are going to get the ID, right? Now to update, where is that? Yeah. So this is the line which update the query, update the table data. So in case of creating new record, we have to use method add. But in case of update, we have to just provide the state as it is being modified. and db.save changes. Whenever you want to execute the changes in database, you need to run this line. So this is a update API. What changes we have done? Just we have stated like the state of this object, whatever the object we got is being modified. So it will goes to the database and it will update. So same thing if we have to do in the, this is the insert query. So just like that, update, then our column name, sorry, table name. Then how do we do that? Let me just search it quickly. I also get forget update SQL table. Key value pair data, something we need to pass. Let me just get that. Okay. Update table name set key is equal to value. Mean column name, value like that. So let's say set, let's say I'm changing the mobile number is equal to, let's say 1111112222. If I run this query now, what it will does, it will change all the mobile number from my table because I didn't specify the condition. Correct? If I didn't specify the condition, this query is simply going to update all the mobile number to this value. That's why I have to specify the condition also with where customer ID is equal to, let's say I'm changing the last record, that is 3. Okay. Now if I execute this query, so see for Ramesh, we have this mobile number, and if we execute, and if we again try to get all the record, so see mobile number got updated. Like this you can comma separated, you can update all the values. This is how we update the table in SQL query by using SQL query. Now same thing we have did in API by using this line. Okay. So let's run and check it. Before closing session, we will add the try catch block also because these things we have already covered in the last session. So we will just see the try catch. How do we handle the exception? Now first we have to execute the get all customer because we need the object which we send. Okay, let's try to update Rahul record. This is the object which we need in case of update. So here you can see it put comes because we have said HTTP put paste. Okay, so now we are trying to update the record which is having customer ID 2. So let's say Rahul M. Let's change the city to Jaipur and Rahul dot M. Email ID also I'm changing. Okay, let's click on execute. So see API got executed. In object, we will get the updated record. See, whatever the object we send that we got, right? This we are sending to update. Continue. So in response, we got it like it is getting updated. But if we check the get API again, so this was the old response, right? Mumbai was the city of Rahul. Execute. So see, city, email ID, and name got changed. So this is update API. Now what remaining is the delete. Let's write the delete one also quickly. So HTTP put is done. After that, delete API is with HTTP delete route round bracket inside just double quotes delete customer by ID. Right? So let me just copy paste the same thing. And here, instead of returning the whole model, I will return true or false. So bool. Okay. So in .NET, sorry, in TypeScript, you know, Boolean we keep, right? So in .NET, we have bool for that data type. And the parameter which we are going to need is simply ID. So int, either we can say ID or cust ID, whatever, right? So you might know like whenever we pass any ID to the key, we need to check like what parameter, query parameter name it needs. Then question mark ID or stud ID or employee ID is equal to something we pass. So it depends what API team put it over here, that ID with that URL only you need to pass the ID, query parameter, right? Now, So let's change the method name, delete customer, right? Now while deleting, what we are getting just the ID. Now let me show you how do we delete by using SQL. Let me just comment these queries. Let's say if we have to delete the record from the table. So the command SQL query is delete from then our table name. So rental. Let me just copy paste. Now, if we run this line, now it will delete all the record from my table because we haven't specified which record you need to delete. We need to specify na, like which record you need to delete. So then where clause will be there. Where now I said like primary key is something which is unique because with same name we can have two customer, but this is going to be unique customer ID. It is not going to be repeated. This is something unique. So let's say customer ID. Why it is not coming? Customer ID equal to, let's say we try to delete the record of Rahul that is having customer ID 2. Let's execute. It says one row is affected. Let's try to get all the record again. Select star from customer. So see, Rahul record doesn't exist now. So we have deleted that. So this is how we delete the record from the table by SQL query. Now same thing we have to write the code in the API. So what we have got is the ID. So first, while deleting from the API side, first we need to get the record of this ID. So cust is equal to underscore context dot what table? Customer dot. Now we need a single record matching with this ID. So we have a method single or default. Okay. So here we need to write the query like this. So this code is familiar to you. In find and filter, we write like this lambda expression. So with what we need to compare with customer ID equal to whatever the ID you get. So this query, this is similar to, let me just write the query over here, whatever we have written now. So this query, select star from customer, it will get all the record from your table. But what if I need the one record? So where customer ID is equal to 2 doesn't exist, but let me just show you how it will. See, currently we don't got any record because in my table, we don't have any record matching with customer ID 2. Let's try with 4. 4 is also not there. 5. See, so if we pass the where clause, it will get all the customer whose ID is 5. So see, now this query is equivalent to this in .NET. So what we are trying to do here, from my database, from this table, I need a single record where customer ID is equal to this. This is how we read it. Okay, so we have got the record. Now we need to remove it. So context dot customer from my database, this table I need to remove. So remove. And we need to pass the object. So this is where we got the complete object. I'm passing over this and db.save changes. So now here it is saying error because we don't have object anywhere in this one. We said it will be Boolean. So we need to return true over here. Okay. So let's save. Let's just add a debugger and let's try to run it. From Gate API, I'm just removing it. So this is the delete API, last operation in the CRUD. Right, so delete one. Let's just check get all customer first. Let's see what IDs we have. So normally what you might be doing in the table, you will show the record. In the table, you will have the delete button. On click of delete, you integrate the API and whatever on which record you click on delete, that ID you normally pass. So let's say we will try to delete the ID with customer 3. Try it out. ID will be 3. Execute. So see, we passed the ID 3. So here we got it 3. Now in customer, you will see we have passed. This is nothing but a query. Okay. Link you. We write this. This is simple SQL query. But just like that in .NET, we have a link queue framework by which we can write the query to the database. So in customer, you can see we have got the customer record, whole object of that ID. and this we are passing to remove, return true. So you can see the return type is true. So we said just remove the customer ID with 3. So let's just try it again. Now we should only see the 2 customer. So see, the customer with the ID 3 got removed. So this is how we have completed the basic RUD API. Okay. Now, when we tried to create the customer with more than 10 mobile number, we got the exception. So how do we handle the exception in here? So what we do, just like in Angular or React, we write the try catch. Just like that, here also you can write the try catch. So this, whatever the code you know to write, you put it in the try block, and in exception, you get the exception over here, and then you write the code to handle that exception. Okay. Now, if you have seen my other API, all my API return some specific object like result, data, and message field. So instead of returning this model, what I'm going to do is I'm going to return my another model. Let me just get that model where I have created that. I think in YouTube. Let me just find any another API. Yeah, so this is the model I'm talking about. Let me just show you this model. So see, this is the model which I have created. In that I have three properties: message, result, data. Right? Let's create now for one API. We will just provide the data type of this model. Means this type of object I'm going to return. Instead of this model, I'm going to return the data of this class. Let's just add the import. Okay. Now it will give the error because we are trying to send the we are trying to return the object of this model. But what we said, the return type of this method will be API response. So now we have to create the object of this class. So about try catch, I will create the object return obj is equal to new. Now this thing, those who knows Angular, this is similar to what we create class in Angular. We create the object like this. So see, again, I will repeat, like if you know one language, in other language, you can learn easily because basic things will be same. So in Angular also, we create the instance of class by writing this kind of syntax. So here also we write that same. Okay, because TypeScript supports some of the OOPS concept, and obviously in .NET we use C# that is by default support the OOPS. Okay, now, so instead of returning this, we will return this model. But before returning, we will just add. Now this is a try catch, try block. So everything, if everything is fine, code will return from this try. So here I'm saying result as true. And message also I will set. Message I will send custom message like customer created successfully. You can use this message while showing in the Angular or React side in the API response. And in data, we will send the object dot data is equal to this object, so that we will get like whatever the ID we have created or not. Now in catch block, again these two lines I will copy paste, but here result property will be false. Okay, and to message we will send the message from exception, like whatever the exception we get, exception dot inner line exception dot message. Okay, now again we will try this method, but now we will try to provide the mobile number with larger range. Okay, then we can see how this try catch block executes. So in all the APL we have to write the try catch block. Okay, but I am just showcasing you over here, but remaining also you will write the same. Let's say execute. So while writing in Angular or React, in every function we should write try catch. So if on any line our code break, it should go to the catch block. At least our code won't break, right? So it is when you start working on any company's project now, you will get the rules and regulation what you need to follow. So there you will find it, write try catch block. Okay, let's try it for creating adding new customer. Write out Ram, customer city, let's say Pune. Now mobile number is something I'm trying to pass the so many numbers. Okay. Email ID, let it be like that. On click of execute. Okay. Now here, just pay attention. First, it will go to the try block. Okay. Now on this line, it will break. Once it break, it will go to the catch block. See, execution comes over here. Mm. Now in this exception, you will get the exception. Inside inner line exception, in message, we have got the error. Now this we are sending it back. Result property as false, and with message we are sending what is the error. Oh, we forgot to remove this throw. We don't need this because we have handled that exception. We need to do it again. What it is saying. Okay, so from see, what is the error? It is saying like not all code path returning the value. So from try, we return the value, but from catch, we didn't return. So that's why it got error. The same object we have to return. So let's save and check. Create new customer, try it out. Let it be same thing, just mobile number, I will provide it wrong. Okay, let's click on execute. F10, F10. Now on this line, it is going to try to save the data, and here it will get the error from the database. So now it is going to else block, catch block, and here we have stored the object in this message property, and that we are returning. So see in the response, you get this message. So if the result property is false, we normally show. So now the user who is inserting the record will get to know like something I have the data, some data I have not sent it correct. So that the mobile number I have passed incorrect. So now what is the whatever the error we have got that we have sent. Now let's correct it. 55. Now we have sent the correct mobile number. Now it will return from the try block only. It won't go to the catch block. So while executing any of this code, if any error is there, it will go to the catch block. Now where there we handle it. So see, now it is returning true because mobile number was correct. So see in the response, we got result property as true, message also we have got, and the updated record also we have got. This is how we write the code, right? So that's it with this today's session. One more table is remaining, that is booking. So I will do the booking, then I will just create the Angular application. So I will try to do it with you guys. But till then, anyone has any question, you can unmute. Okay, thank you guys. So I will let you know when the next session will be. Probably on Sunday we will take.
This you have it written in C sharp, right? So
Yeah,
if you want to go for Java or C++,
Java, let's yeah. So same like see over here you can see we have controller over here. We have model over here. If it is a Java project also, na, in Java also Spring framework is there. So there also controller and models are there. Little bit code will be changed, but basic concept will be same. Okay.
okay,
Here we have entity framework. There also they have Hibernate to connect to the database. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for joining.